Ben McKee, Patrick Brown, Go Vols 247 here in Sanford Stadium as Tennessee goes down to Georgia 27-13. And Patrick, it's pretty simple. The first quarter set the tone for the rest of the game, and what happened in that first quarter was Tennessee not looking like itself.
Yeah, this was a very uncharacteristic performance. Easy for me to say for Tennessee in this game. A lot of things that we haven't seen this team do all season happened today. They were, I think Georgia was the more physical team. Georgia made the big plays through the air. Tennessee did not. And certainly the crowd noise was a big factor as Tennessee had 7 false start penalties. And it seemed it didn't get any better in the second half either on that front.
No, and especially in the second half because it became a monsoon down on the field. Of course, Tennessee's trying to throw the football around and spark a comeback, and it's pouring down rain everywhere it turns. But the offense just did not show up today, and I think that Georgia deserves a lot of credit for that. Georgia's fans deserve a lot of credit for that because it was very loud down here on the field. It was very loud, and as we saw, that contributed to a lot of pre-snap penalties. And then on top of the pre-snap penalties, first time that Tennessee's offensive line was not the better unit on the field on Saturday.
Yeah, and Josh Heupel and several players came out afterwards, talked to Jalen Hyatt, Hendon Hooker, and they all acknowledged the obvious that the noise was a big factor. And it's hard to play from 1st and 15, from 2nd and long. This offense could never get out of its own way enough to find any rhythm or play with any tempo. And when they did move the ball some. They just couldn't finish drives, whether it was the interception down here, penalties, sacks. Hendon Hooker had to hold the ball a lot. I think Georgia's defensive backs did a really good job in coverage, and from then, Georgia was able to bring pressure and get to Hendon Hooker a lot. 6 sacks. They only went in the game with 10, so he had to hold the ball a lot. And Tennessee's offense, like you said, just couldn't get anything going. A lot of it was self-inflicted, but a lot of credit goes to the Bulldogs as well.
Yeah, and I thought defensively for Tennessee, they were fine. I mean, holding Georgia to 27 points, that's enough to win the game.
Under 400 yards, too.
Yes, under 400 yards. That's enough to win you the football game on the road in Athens. The story is the offense for so many reasons that we've already touched. And then again, by the time the second half rolled around, it was a monsoon. It's hard to spark a comeback at that point. Now it's a matter of looking ahead. You finish with Missouri, South Carolina, Vanderbilt. Those should be 3 wins, but there's going to be a looming storyline above this team for the rest of the season. Can they do enough on the field to jump somebody in the playoff rankings? Because they're not going to Atlanta unless this Georgia team has an all-time collapse.
Yeah, and credit Josh Heupel for coming out and saying that getting to Atlanta is this program's
You need them to lose twice
number
now.
1 goal, and it gets a lot tougher now. Georgia's got 2 games left at Mississippi State next week and at Kentucky. So they got to go on the road and handle some things, but, I mean, on this evidence, you wouldn't expect them to lose both those games, which is probably what it's going to take. So for Tennessee, all you got to do is you got to go win your 3 games. You got to beat Missouri next week and then go on the road again. Probably won't be as loud in Williams-Brice. Certainly won't be as loud at Vanderbilt. But if you handle your business, you're 11-1. You just got to see what happens from then on out. But certainly this game makes Atlanta all just about impossible at this point. But Tennessee lost control of a lot of things today, but now they have to focus on what they can control. Learn from this. I heard several players talk about it being a learning experience. And the biggest thing was how to play on the road, because if you play in these big games, you're going to get environments like this when you go on the road. So, and all Tennessee can do now is move forward, win what they can, do what they can, and see what happens at the end of the season.
Yep, lost opportunity here today. I thought you had a chance to pencil yourself into the playoffs with a win. But hey, they're still going to have a chance if they can continue to handle business. And who knows, they may get help elsewhere. It is college football after all. And at worst, they're 11-1 and going to the Sugar Bowl.
Still a great season.
Yeah, still an absolutely great season. He's Patrick Brown. I'm Ben McKee. We are Go Vols 247 here in Athens, Georgia. Plenty of coverage up on the site right now.